Did the Red Sea part? Or was it an earthquake? Halorum, the book? Or is it an action movie? His name is Serdar, but everyone calls him Jerry. Why? Listen to find out. Welcome back to the You, Me, and a Mic podcast. Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 3, Part 2 with Serdar Aydemir, also known as Jerry. I'm going to refer to him as Jerry because that's how I personally know him. And in this episode, we actually dive into the history on where he got that name. It's a really interesting story and kind of ties in with the book. We also touch on religion and music. And this is just how our night ended. So this is where the conversation kind of comes to its end. And it was a great episode. I hope you guys enjoy. Here we go. Episode 3, Part 2.
Like, because that's how it was too. Like, as a kid, obviously, you're directly influenced by parents and their beliefs, because you do what they do, and they tell you this is what you're supposed to do, you know. And then so you do that, but then you get older, and then you realize shit, and you get your own logic. Because I'm super logical, and you get older, and you're like, okay, some of this shit doesn't make sense. Like, okay, I really don't think this magical person just split the ocean and then drowned a bunch of people again. Like, I don't know about that. Maybe, and hear me out, maybe this is what happened. Maybe these people crossed this, like, valley to, like, escape Rome, or what the fuck it was. Egypt, I think?
Egypt, yeah.
Okay, Egypt. So these people crossed the valley and escaped Egypt, and then maybe a couple hundred years went by, and they were like, where'd all these fucking people go? And then they go, maybe they went north, and they go, and then an earthquake happened, and because there's a fucking huge fault line there, maybe an earthquake happened and kind of opened it up for the water to kind of come in and just kind of flooded that valley. And then, oh, whoops, we can't cross the valley anymore because there's water.
Darn you, like, Jews.
No!
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah. But then, like, the shit that does make sense, I'm all about. Like, okay, like...
You can talk about dietary laws, huh?
Yeah.
Because that does make sense, yeah.
To me, that makes complete sense. Because there's... And, like, it's not just, like, science, but, like, research or, I don't know, fact, I guess you could say, behind it, you know? Because there's, like, I mean, you could go for a lot of different things, I guess, but this makes the most sense. Like, for pork, obviously, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah.
Very logical, makes sense.
Yep.
You know, someone splitting water and then drowning a bunch of people at the same time doesn't make sense.
Right. Just like with ceremonial, like, I used to always get focused on the Old Testament, how, like, man, there's so many rituals about cleaning, and you got to clean the plate, and then you got to clean your hand, and you got to, oh, this is just all being sanitary.
Because, so, like, in Islam, there's a ritual. I think it was called wudu. Is like the process of before prayer, there's a very specific routine you have to go through. I haven't done it in a very long time, so I don't remember it, but it's like, okay, you splash your face, you rinse your hand, you splash your arms up to your elbow, specifically to the elbow, and then, this, and then you wipe behind your ears, because during prayer, you put your hands behind your ears, and then you have to wash your feet, because obviously in that time, like, there was no, like, soft soap that you buy at CVS. We didn't have that shit. They had to wash that shit, like, very procedurally, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense now. And that's, like in my book, there's a lot of shit that it's not real. It doesn't make a logical sense, but that's what it's directly reflecting, is that kind of stuff. To make it, like, fantastical. Yeah. You know? And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to take you away. It wants to draw you in, like when you watch a movie, you want to be drawn into the movie. So you want to be drawn into the book. That's what I try to do. Hopefully it doesn't. And drawn into it. And that's what like modern day-ish religion kind of does or tries to do, which is like I feel like Quran, Bible, whatever the books are, those were like a book. Like let's say I wrote Halorum, and then in like 600 years, someone's like, "Holy fucking shit! Like this shit happened. Like we need to like there's gods that like do this and that, and there's a light. And there's a light. You know, we have to have faith in this light. Nobody understands it, but they just read it and they're like, we have to do this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna say like this is how what actually happened back then, but who knows? Maybe it did.
No, my favorite saying is that all these myths or stories, they're all true.
Yeah,
and sometimes they actually happened.
Yeah.
So, because truth is truth. Like truth is not tangible. So every story, every myth, every religion has its truths. A lot of them share a lot of the same truth, which is, I think that's what, the more I get older, the more I'm fascinated by like, oh yeah, we all have the same start to the story.
Yeah.
We're all like, they're like, my religion's like, hey, we love Moses. And then the Jews are like, we love Moses.
Yeah, what?
And then the Islam's like, but we love Moses too.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we kind of get to it. And then we get to one point and we're like, oh, okay, this is where we split off.
Yeah.
But it's like that. It's I love that's all those three main religions believe the same truth, and then just have a different take on it, where there's like, yes, I believe Moses, and this is what I think happened. I believe in Moses, and I think this happened. But it's like, clearly we have the same common denominator. So either Moses was a real person or wasn't, but we all have that same truth.
Yeah.
Did it happen? Maybe.
Yeah,
did it not? Well, we all got the same truth, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see if one's
Yeah, you do that. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Would you like a second drink, sir?
Ooh. Let's see, what time is it?
It's only 9 o'clock?
10. I'll have like a tiny bit, like a little mixer.
Mixer.
This is fun.
Right? Dude, see? What I'm talking about, man. This is my like, and the thing about this is this is like the most janky setup. This is the bottom of that it's gonna get. It's only gonna get better from
It's like
here.
super casual. Like just cool.
Exactly. It's only gonna get better. That's what I'm so stoked about, because at the end of the day, I said this on the first podcast, that this is just mainly for me. Like, because it, like, if anything, it's almost like a form of therapy too, because it's just like, I'm capturing conversations with people that I find very interesting, and I'm realizing I have just a big resource.
Yeah.
Like my buddy, one of my good friends who is a great musician, I used to be in a band with him briefly, and he is so talented. He is in the process of writing a new album now, because I wanted to podcast with him, and he's like, let me finish this album and then we'll do it. And I'm like, great. That's nice. Great content. So it's just dope.
I got a really good friend of mine that you would love to do this with.
Yeah.
Which is actually another influence of a place in my book, name-wise. He does hip-hop.
Oh, is it the one you did the music video for?
Yeah. I think I showed you those videos, right?
Yeah.
So he does those, and he's the one with the beard. Remember that? I don't know if you remember visually, but he had a beard. He looks like
I think
dark skin,
Was he in the music video?
He was, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I remember.
So he you would love him. Like, he's fucking cool stories, cool personality, everything. He'd be super awesome to do this with. But so I have an influence of his name in there. So his name is Amir. And it's Aamir. So 2 A's. So I was like, when I was first, not even like, I was like beginning stages of writing the story. I was like, yeah, I want to put you in a book somehow. I don't know fucking how. I don't know how to put that name in there. I don't know what to do with that. So it was weird. This is like the story of like how I came up with the nickname Jerry. So
let's go with that.
It's like
because I know you as Jerry, but
okay, I'll get to that one next.
Yeah.
So first, this one. So AA that stood out, and he's like, "How about like like something like like."
Like I'm thinking like
So I was like, okay, how about like some kind of like spirits or something, and they just go like and we just goof around, like mess around, and like these spirits, like they fly around, they just whisper like, stupidest, dumbest thing. I was like, okay, actually, so I was trying to figure out how to end the book, and I was like, okay, this could be something. And then it just kind of like morphs, and it turns into something. And you see on the map in the very bottom right-hand corner, it says passage of, and it looks like weird symbols. It looks like 2 9s. It's like weird symbol, but it's got like a dot on it. And that's a Haloric alphabet. Haloric meaning, well, spawns from that, obviously. So it's from the Haloric alphabet, and those are the 2 symbols of AA in that Haloric alphabet. So it's the passage of so Amir, double A. So, and that's, without spoiling anything, that's where it ends up. And that's cool that like that name is influenced by that. So he would be super awesome. We'd love to do it.
I would love to do a podcast with him.
He's got really cool history, tons of cool stories. He like stories of like partying in LA in a mansion at Reese Witherspoon's mansion, I think. Or
Dude,
something.
I love Reese Witherspoon.
Like, stuff like that. Like working at in Hollywood at Tower Records, I think. Tower Records, or I think it was Tower Records in Hollywood, like off Sunset, I think. And having like, when he used to work, and the Tower Records was next to a fitness gym where all the big fitness celebrities would go, and Jean-Claude Van Damme would go there, and then he'd come in after his workout, he'd walk into Tower Records and get records from him.
Wow.
Like stuff like that, like cool stories like that.
That's dope.
Yeah, super awesome. And Jerry came up with him. So we were deep in like video world. We loved video stuff, making videos, making short films, music videos, whatever. And we were at the mall one day having lunch in the food court, and we're like, okay, have I told you this? I don't think I've told you this.
No.
Okay. So we came up with a story for a short film, which we never did, but I still have the rough draft of the script in a Word document on my computer or in my hard drive somewhere. And okay, so we're coming up with stories, we're coming up with characters, just like how shit with the book comes up, like stupid random things, and they just add up and add up and add up and add up. So that's what happened. And we're in the food court, like, okay, so this character, okay, all right, what's his name? And it was supposed to be like a film noir kind of style film, short film, and so we see this a couple of paramedics walking by. No emergency, they're just walking through to get lunch or whatever. And I see the print or the
it's like embroidered on
mm-hmm. Yeah, name on the jersey or whatever, and it says Jerry Narath. I was like, that is the coolest name. Like just like how the Anais Fairweather. I was like, that is a fucking cool name. I was like, okay, that's the character's name. Like that's the main character, Jerry Narath. That's a cool film name.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
visually it looks cool. It sounds cool. It sounds cool to say.
Yeah.
Narath. Jerry Narath.
Narath.
Yeah.
And that was straight up ripped it off the guy. I was like, that is mine now.
That is mine.
But like, I never have it. But like, that's what so in that short film, I was to play that character.
Mm-hmm.
So my buddy Amir, he put me in his phone, his contacts as Jerry Narath. And so then